may genuinely be melting in front of you. Like, some people are worth melting for, so I hope if I do melt in this episode, you at least bless me with a like. Because I am so warm. I've been fanning myself with this card for a little while, because it is so hot in my room. Okay, it doesn't help that I've got 2 studio lights blaring on me, but it was either that or bad lighting. Drip or drown, do you know what I mean? And I am dripping with sweat. And one thing about me, I feel like I've said this before, but I can't remember because I can't remember anything. But we'll get into that. I hate sweating. I would pay a lot of money to never sweat. Never sweat and never have a migraine again. Those are 2 things. I can deal with being sick. Can I deal with a cold? I can't really deal with being ill. But having a migraine, next level. Oh my God. If you see my makeup just sweating off, mind your business. Also, I was supposed to film this. I was supposed to film this podcast, get it edited by now, right? So today's Tuesday. This is going out tomorrow. Happy Wednesday and whatnot. But I was like, okay, I was cat sitting for the last week and a bit, right? And I was like, today's the last day. I thought I'll go see the cat, feed the cat, give the cat a little love. Love that cat that I look after, Ralphie. He's just blessed day. He's just gorgeous, right? I thought I'll go there, then I'll come home. I was feeling inspired. Sorry, I'm going to have to fan myself again. I was feeling inspired. I was like, I'm going to come home and I'm going to film this podcast. And also I've been feeling very good about myself with no makeup on, which is shocking considering the amount of bullshit I have been getting in my TikTok comments. But once again, we'll get into that. And then I picked my face to quite literally no end. And so that didn't happen and I have a full face of makeup on. So yeah, that's why I'm going to be sweating this makeup off. That's punishment for even putting it on. And also for picking my face to no end when my skin has literally cleared up so quickly recently. And it's because I've just been too distracted to pick it, because I've just been dealing with like everything else that's going on inside my brain. Okay, I'm going to do one really, really big fan of my forehead and just hope that it gets the memo to stop sweating. Like, it's 23 degrees outside. Like, this weather is just bullshit no matter what, like, day it is. But my room, like, consistently just stays at a disgusting, sticky temperature. And it makes me feel angry and mad and sad and just not happy. I just hate it. I hate it. And I will never forget when my radiator was just broken for like a whole winter, which is obviously the best time for a radiator to be broken, but it was just on full blast all the time. So no matter if you were hot or cold, walking in here was like walking into a furnace. Mama too hot like a furnace, honestly. Anyway, before I actually get started in what I have to speak about, which there is a lot, right? There is a lot. But that kind of links back to what I'm about to say. I feel like I need to go over some housekeeping. One, obviously, like I've just said, I'm sweaty. If you can try and ignore it, I would be forever grateful. And I'm realizing as I'm getting older, I'm just getting sweatier. It doesn't make me happy. I'm not okay with it. I'm not comfortable with it. But as I've learned in the last couple of weeks, turning 25, it's on the horizon, you know what I mean? My birthday is next month officially. Happy August one and all. Thank fuck July is over. Should I say that? July is not that bad. The weather was absolutely insane, and if I think about it for too long, I might shit myself. But July is not my favourite summer month. August probably is. Why? Because Virgo season starts and I can make it about me because my birthday is next month. Anyway, happy August, whatever. The main bit of housekeeping and sad news, I suppose, if you care. I don't know if you do, but here we go. I am going to, for now, change the scheduling of this podcast to an episode every 2 weeks because, and here's the thing, right, and I never thought I'd see the day where I'd say this, but sometimes I do run out of things to say, and I find myself so often repeating things on the podcast or repeating things on the vlog that I've already said on the other one. So like saying things on the vlog that I've said on here, or saying things on here that I've said on the vlog. And obviously, like, you might not watch the vlogs, or the people that watch the vlogs might not watch the podcast, but like, I am just like, oh my God, you are like, what is the word? that tickled. I can't think of the word. Just like repeating yourself. I don't even know what the phrase is when you repeat yourself a lot. Like a broken clock? I don't know. Broken cock. I don't know. But basically, I'm just going to stick to once every 2 weeks, especially because I've been doing that. And then every so often I'll be able to post one like 2 weeks in a row. And then it goes back to being every 2 weeks. And each time I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm the worst. So if I just say that it's going to be every 2 weeks, then I can just put my effort into making a somewhat good enough, medium level entertainment podcast every 2 weeks instead of stressing about making one every week, especially because I'm a busy bee and August is, and we'll get into this as well, it's actually stressing me out how busy I am in August. And I know that sounds like, oh, first world problem, but you know, this is kind of like my place to vent and to rant. And if you don't like that, then there's this crazy thing called not watching or not listening, which I think everyone everywhere on the internet needs to learn, that if you don't like something, you do not have to watch it. And if you do watch it, even though you don't like it, you don't have to comment on it. Anyway, we'll get into that though. I keep giving you, I'm edging you about things we're going to talk about, but we'll get there, honestly. So yeah, I'm going to commit to once every 2 weeks, because also I just then find like my vlogs take a back seat, because then I don't know what to say in my vlogs or what to talk about in my vlogs. And also my main channel where I post my vlogs, I've got every intention to post more videos on there, like a wider variety. I'm going to bring back my book club. I'm going to film a July favourites, like not just my vlogs anymore, like other chatty videos as well, because I did a chatty video where I did my makeup and spoke about being 6 months single, and someone was like, oh, I really like this format of chatty videos, and one person said it and I was like, well, for you I'll do anything, so I'm going to keep that up, well, when I get around to filming it. But anyway, as I said, I was supposed to film this hours ago. I got home from Ralphie's at maybe just before 4. I was like, okay, perfect. Not going to put makeup on, just going to sit down and film it. Done before dinner. It's now 8:30. Nearly 8:30. Because I'm the worst person in the world. Yes, well, yes, I am. So yeah, I think that's the only housekeeping I have. The podcast has been getting a lot of love, so this is my time as well to acknowledge that and say thank you, because I very much appreciate that. And at the moment, any nice comment I get just genuinely does keep me going for another day, because when I tell you that the last few weeks, I genuinely don't even feel like I'm actively living. I just kind of feel like things are happening and my body is there and witnessing them, but my brain is having no time to like process what's going on around me. That's genuinely how it feels. And one last thing, and this may be the most important, because I don't know if it will happen, but when I woke up this morning, I was like, oh, I have loads of things that I want to speak about, as in like what's been happening the last couple like weeks and stuff, and like how I've been feeling, whatever. So I wrote everything down kind of in chronological order of how things have been like happening and going. And so I am going to try my very best, and like I said, there is no guarantee this will happen, but to not stray from what I'm speaking about. Unless there is a very pressing, very relevant, very important story that I haven't written down that comes to mind, I'm going to try and stay on track. Will this happen? I don't know, but I'm going to try my very best. Okay, I'm on a new dose of ADHD tablets. Let's see. Let's put them to the test. Spoiler alert, I don't think they're working. Okay, let's get into this, right? So, hello. Welcome back. Or welcome to. Right? God. Imagine this being the first episode. I'm already off on another topic. Okay, that lasted long. Oh, wait, who said that? But yeah, I just can't imagine this being the first podcast someone watches of mine and they're like, wow, she's boring as hell. Anyway, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. You can say so much about me, and people do. People have been loving saying so many different things about me, especially about my appearance. But you could never, ever say that I'm boring, and I would never take that sitting down. And I'm sitting down right now, and I'm not standing up because I'm so sweaty there'll be like grimace hair stuck to my back. But just know, if someone said to my face, you're so boring, I'd be like, oh, you know nothing. Okay. I know nothing, Oliver. Oh my gosh. Don't even get me started. The urge to rewatch Call Me By Your Name recently. Woo! Makes sense that I've been feeling absolutely loco. So anyway, the last couple of weeks, I have been feeling so out of sorts, and I'm in this constant state of just being overwhelmed by everything. Nothing is helping, okay? I will write stuff down. Oh my God, of course there's a plane flying over the house right now because I live near an airport, but it literally sounds like it's about to land in our garden. This isn't Gatwick, love. Well, Heathrow. Anyway, Heathrow over there. Heathrow go over there. Right, that was shit. Oh my God, I'm losing my touch. Anyway, I don't know what's happened recently, but I've been feeling, I don't know if something's in the air. I don't know if it's Mercury. I don't know what. And before you ask, or if you're wondering, I'm not in my luteal phase. This was all happening in my follicular phase. And then the last couple of days, I've been ovulating. Fucking hell. Don't even want to get into that. Why is it when I'm ovulating? Oh my God. The way anything looks good. Well, most things look good to me. Anyway. So this kind of all started not last weekend, but the weekend before. I went to this, oh my God, I went to this charity like event for a family friend, a very near and dear family friend. And at this charity event, I genuinely didn't feel real. I was like, what is going on? People were speaking to me, asking me questions about my life. I saw one of my brothers. I was like, oh, you know, whatever. I genuinely was sat there and I was like, oh my God, like what is happening? Like everything was obviously happening, going on around me, but like, genuinely, hand on my heart, I didn't know what was happening. I was genuinely sat there like, what's going on? That weekend was kind of like, I don't know, it felt like there was a lot to like sort out. And in my brain, the way my brain works is if there's a lot going on and then like one thing happens that like causes me a lot of anxiety or a lot of stress, or is kind of like the breaking point, in my mind, the way my brain works is it's like when that one singular thing is fixed, then everything will be okay. So for example, like an example of this, if I feel like I've upset someone, like someone I actually care about, I don't give a fuck if I've upset someone I don't care about because, well, why did I try and upset you? Or why did I upset you? Probably deserved, right? Anyway, but if I've upset someone that I care about, not intentionally, I didn't mean to upset them, whatever, my whole thing will be, I cannot rest and things won't be okay until they're like, okay, or I've apologized and they've accepted my apology, or like I've clarified if I've upset them or anything like that, right? That's how my brain works. So that weekend, Tilly, my cousin, if you didn't know, Tilly's my cousin, she's like my sister, whatever, she was really upset. She was on a girls' holiday. She was really upset. Some stuff was happening in her personal life. Won't get into it because it's not my place to say, but she was texting me loads and loads about it, and we'd called about it earlier in the week, and I was trying to give her advice, trying to tell her like my thoughts on the situation, try and help her in any way I could. And so in my mind, that's like, it was like this sort of emotional sponge where I was just absorbing how she felt, and I felt like I couldn't rest until I knew that she was okay and that things were resolved or things had been like sorted or whatever. So that was happening, and I was like, okay, I don't like this. Like it was just really, I don't know, like I said, I'm an emotional sponge. And then when I was there, I saw someone who I've known of this guy for a couple of years through this event, through like family friends. And years and years and years ago, this was like 4 years ago, he asked me out. And I either didn't reply or I didn't say yes, okay, whatever, like it wasn't a big deal. And then he got a girlfriend, and I was like, okay, I'm happy for you. And then the minute he got a girlfriend, he unfollowed me. And I was like, okay, like I never showed interest like that. But I get it. Like if she's like, oh, I want you to unfollow anyone that like you've had a crush on or whatever, I'd just be like, yeah, whatever. Like I literally cannot imagine for the life of me being in a relationship again. So like I just don't, like it feels like I've been out of a relationship so long that I cannot remember what being in a relationship is like. So I'm just like, yeah, you crazy people do whatever you want to do, right? Do whatever you need. That's fine. Okay? Whatever. So they're there, right? But the last time I went to one of these events was maybe 3 years ago. And he was there, and so was his girlfriend, and he didn't even acknowledge my presence. And I was like, that's fine. Maybe a tiny bit rude considering nothing happened between us. But if she's there, if she's mad, I'm probably looking lame. Like, I get it, okay? I understand, I guess, somewhat, right? Okay. They're both there. And once again, no acknowledgement of me. And I'm thinking, that is completely fine. But what isn't fine is then her, the girlfriend, and I think one of the other people they were with, I don't even know who she was, just giving me dirty looks or just staring at me. And then I'd look and turn and look at them. And then they would just be like, and look away. And then I'd turn back and they were looking at me again. And I literally felt like saying the absolute classic, I just spat, take a picture, it will last longer. Genuinely take a picture, it will last longer. I have over 400 posts on Instagram. I have vlogs on YouTube. I have so probably thousands and thousands of TikToks. If you want to get a better look, just look me up. Maisie Fuller. 2 R's on Instagram. 2 R's everywhere, apart from YouTube. YouTube.com/Maisie Fuller. Boohoo.com. Like, what is your problem? I've not done anything in this scenario. I hate it. Like, especially now that I'm single and also after watching Love Island, I have a newfound, like, respect and also not respect. Sorry, I've always had respect for women because I am one and I love being one and whatever. But a newfound, like, bewilderment at women who just actively hate on other women because of a man with no real reason, right? Or just like will believe anything a man says over what a woman says. Don't get me wrong, I do not think that every woman is perfect, and this is another thing, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm a girl's girl until a girl is a bitch, and then I'm not a girl's girl. I'm not gonna just blindly defend someone who is being a bitch. Okay, I've had my fair few run-ins with bitches. I wouldn't be like, yeah, I'm a girl's girl, so I would never chat shit about her. I've chat shit about multiple women who are evil to their core, right? But I was just thinking, I don't know what he told you. I don't know if you've seen the messages between us, but there was like, I genuinely don't even think I responded to him asking me out. So why am I being stared at like a piece of pocket meat? What is that? Like, I'm not a piece of pocket meat. I'm a fine ham hock, I'll have you know. So that pissed me off. Anyway, that was when it all started that weekend, right? And I can't remember if it was, let me actually look on my time tree because I don't think I have done this completely chronologically. Wait. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. My friend was messaging me about a Tumblr model. Okay, so when did I go to the thing? I went to the thing on... Okay, this happened, this event, this family event, this like charity event happened after my medication review, right? I had a medication review for my ADHD tablets 2 days before on the Thursday, and I went to the thing on the Saturday. And it wasn't with my normal doctor, the one that like we are having little cat fights every time we interact, right? It was with I think she was a pharmacist, and she was like, how are the medication working for you? Like, do you want to go up a dose? I was like, yep, sure. Like, let's go on to the 40, like, let's get lit. And I said to her, like, oh, by the way, I am beefing the doctor like constantly because he sends the medication off, tells me it'll be ready to collect the next day, and it won't be there for a week, and then it's my fault when I don't know how these medications when this I don't know how this medication is working because I've not been on it for the right amount of time before I have a medication review. Because bearing in mind, every single time I go up a dose and it goes up by 10 milligrams, I have a medication review after a month. But when you can't pick up the tablets for a week, I've only been on them 3 weeks. I barely even touched the sides. I'm sorry, I'm fucking like 12 stone. Also, I've lost weight because I had to, every single time I have a medication review, I have to give my weight, my height, not that it ever changes. I'm a baby giraffe. My blood pressure and my heart rate, right? My heart rate is exactly the same 2 months in a row. Consistent queen, okay. But my weight, I lost weight. And the pharmacist was like, wait, was that intentional? She went, wait. I said, wait? My body weight? Sorry, that was terrible. Oh my God, I'm losing my way. This is what I mean. I'm either coming out or right at the end of a psychotic episode at the moment, but I'd lost some weight and she was like, was that intentional? I said, girl, no. I said, I've never been on a diet in my life. I said, I also don't go to the gym. It might be these pills, or it might be the fact that this heat makes me not want to eat anything because, well, it's just unbearable. Doing anything in this heat is disgusting, let alone like eating a full meal. You know what I mean? Like this morning for breakfast, cup of tea and 1 Maryland cookie. Oh yeah, because health is wealth. Anyway, I had my medication review. She upped the ante. The thing is though, I still have so many 30 milligram tablets left. So I'm like, what do I do now? You know, but a bit sad, my 30 milligram tablets were pink and my 40 milligram tablets are blue. There was a colored man in my kitchen. Color? What color was he exactly? Blue. Anyway, they're kind of cute though. They're a cute blue. They're a cute blue. Anyway, so yeah, I just mamas, I have no idea what I'm saying. Okay, wait. Yeah. So that day I kind of felt like completely out of sorts. Then, and this probably made it worse. Hear me out, cake, because this is going to sound very bad. But if you think this is bad, just wait till we get towards the end of this story, right? That night, I re-downloaded Tinder to delete my account. When I downloaded Tinder, my account was still logged in. And there was this guy that I matched with and he messaged me. And I replied because I was an idiot. And then I stayed up sexting him till 3 o'clock in the morning because it was so easy to just get him to say what I wanted. And most of the time when you sext someone, it's like obviously great if you're enjoying it to like, I don't know, get you somewhere, like wherever you need to go. But normally I'm doing it for love of the game to see how quickly I could get them into like admitting what they do if I wanted them to. This guy openly admitted he was into vanilla sex. I was like, that is something you should never admit to me. Like, I don't think it's a shameful thing. But if you're on Tinder for one thing and one thing only, don't you kind of want that one thing to be a bit more exciting than vanilla sex? I don't know. And so he was like, oh, girls that I sleep with normally like me to be dominant. And I was like, okay, like clap if you care. And he was like, but I think I'd do anything you say. The way you call a man good boy once, oh my God, they're literally calling you mummy for like the rest of time. He was like, I can't wait to be so well behaved for you. And I was like, baby, you ain't seeing me. He asked me to come round to his house that night as well, 1 o'clock in the morning, or like it was 1:30 in the morning. He was like, can you drive? And I was like, yeah, I can, but not at this time. And if I am driving at this time, like the only person I would be driving for at this hour is like my parents or my best friend. Are you mental? Anyway, he then started trying to plan when we'd see each other. So I literally, midway through him trying to plan us seeing each other, I deleted my account. Because he was like, I'm not trying to pressure you into coming, but then would just say things to pressure me into coming. And he was like, you know, I don't know if I'm going to be free. Like, I was like, oh, so when we first started speaking, you're free all the time. You can see me whenever. But now you're like, oh, no, I don't know when I'm free. I was like, yeah, how about you FRO? Fuck right off. I was like, there's no way. So that happened. Stayed up till 3. Next morning, woke up at 8 a.m. No. 3:30. No. Wait. I had 4.5 hours sleep, basically. One thing to know about me, I do not cope well on that little sleep. Ever, under any circumstance, I'm never, ever going to cope well with that little sleep. Because when I'm tired, oh, it's sleep chella. Like it's nap chella. Like I can nap anywhere. That day, I had planned for it to be a very productive day. I was gonna, because I hadn't vlogged that entire week, because I felt so drained. This is what I mean as well when I talk about the podcast. Some weeks and vlogging, some weeks I'm so drained because I don't know what to say, and like I get really in my own head about what I'm posting and if it's boring and if it's not interesting enough, and then I'm like, but I think people like to see my real life, and like my life not being like crazy impressive or like whatever. But then I'm also like, I just feel like I'm doing the same thing. Like, I get so in my head about my vlogs, which is crazy because sometimes I'll post a vlog and I'm like, this wasn't very good. And then all the comments will be like, oh, I loved this. This made me feel so much better. Like, and I'm like, wow, okay, so I'm a really bad judge of my own videos, but whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm going to film like a day in my life where I literally film from the moment I get up to the moment I go to bed. Obviously, I was delusional that day. I was so delirious, so tired. It was genuinely scary. It was very scary boots for me. It was scary time. It was scary chella. That day I went shopping, found a stunning bodysuit in Bravissimo, but it was just a little bit too small. And by that, I mean I couldn't get it over my thighs because I've always had thick thighs. I will never forget when a man that says thick thighs save lives to me. if it came between like saving your life and not, it's always going to be not. Like, what do you mean? Shut up. Anyway, so went shopping that whole day, so tired, so delirious, no idea where I was, overwhelmed. I was in jeans as well. I was in jeans. It was everyone's first day on earth. It was so busy where I went shopping. And it got to the point where I kind of just blacked out. I blacked out. I bought a Sunny Angel. And in that vlog, I opened the Sunny Angel and I'm like, the only one I don't want it to be is the fried chicken. And then I was like, oh, it's going to be the fried chicken now. I opened it. Lo and behold, it was the fried chicken. That clip, I would say the Sunny Angel was money well spent just from that clip alone, because that clip is so funny to me and it can really cheer myself up. It can cheer myself up. It can cheer me up. Anyway, and like that day was annoying because obviously my sleep just impacted, and my lack of sleep just impacted the rest of the day. And this is something that I'm really struggling with at the moment, and it was like relevant on that day, and it's just been relevant for like my entire life. But my time management is so bad, and it really affects me because it makes me feel very stupid and very small and very childlike and immature. And I know it's because I'm always distracted by like my phone or by something. And like, instead of just sitting and like being like, okay, I want to film my podcast, let me get ready, like give myself an hour. In that hour, I will find literally anything and everything to do. And I wonder a lot if there is more wrong with me than I already know. Like, obviously I've got anxiety, depression, ADHD, like PMDD. Those are the things like I know that I have. But obviously growing up, when I was doing really badly during college and during school, a lot of people like my psychiatrist at the time, my therapist, whatever, they thought I had a personality disorder, whether that was borderline personality disorder, whether that was bipolar, like whatever it was. They thought there was something there, but obviously they couldn't diagnose me because I was under 21 and you have to wait till you're 21 or to go through the NHS or whatever bullshit, right? So sometimes I do wonder if there is something underlying there. I don't think if it is something like that, if it is a personality disorder, I don't know if it's necessarily extreme. And I'm not saying I do have it before anyone's like, stop self-diagnosing. I'm not. But, or maybe it's like the fact that obviously when I went to get my ADHD screening, the assessment there, they were like, oh, we think you might have autism. It could be that. And that, I think, undiagnosed autism, or maybe autism and ADHD as a combination is also very relevant to the things I've been struggling with at the moment. But in terms of like time management, this is something I've never spoken about this before. Shocking, I know, because I speak about literally everything. But I feel like every day or most days I have little bursts of like mania in the sense that no, like in the sense that if something happens, right, let's say I get paid, someone I like on TikTok follows me, someone I like comments on my video, like I make a plan with Lara, like a really exciting plan with Lara, someone messages me, or like back when I was on Hinge, like it would be like a boy that I liked replying to me. In those moments I get this like weird sense of euphoria, which is like a spike, like a dopamine spike, and it literally goes up like that. And then if anyone around me says anything that can bring me back down to earth, it's like I crash and I go right down the other way, and like all my doubts come like flooding back in. And this happens with everything. So I went to Pride last weekend. I had a great time. Before Pride, I was like buying glitter. I bought hair tinsel, which there's some still in my hair, barely. I don't even know if you can see it because it's like so badly blended in. I had to use rusty old pliers to put it in. But before Pride, I was sat there and I was like, oh my God, we're going to have the best time ever. And I had this like spike of euphoria. And whenever this happens, if I'm at home, during those moments, I will like get up from whatever I'm doing and just go and like talk at my parents in this like manic, excited way. And then if they say anything that like bursts my bubble, like brings me back down, then like straight back in here, not talking to anyone, whatever. So with Pride, I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited for Pride. I was texting Tilly. I was like, I can't wait for this, that, and the other. And then like, even if no one burst my bubble, after like maybe a couple of minutes, that feeling like dissipates, and like my normal sort of feelings come back. And like, I'm very much, and always have been, a glass half empty kind of person. don't get me wrong, I do feel like I'm more optimistic about life now than I have been before, even though I'm always anxious. But like, just by nature, I've always been quite a negative person. Like, and I guess that's because I'm depressed, or like have depression, whatever. I don't think I'm like depressed day to day anymore, thank God. But my brain will go back to being like, well, will it even be very good? Oh, like, well, this will end. Or this feeling's going to come to an end. Or just like, I'll be like, oh, like today I was like, I'm going to book a new tattoo. Well, I've already booked a new tattoo, but I'm going to book more tattoos. I'm going to do like a day sit with this artist that I love. And I was like looking through all of their stuff and their flash, and I was like, oh my God, I want this, I want that, I want this. And then all of a sudden I was like, well, will this even happen? Will I even get a new tattoo? Like, I probably shouldn't book it. And then my mind just goes straight back to being like sad. And it's something really weird, and I've never ever told anyone about it until now, so you're privy to this information. But I'm just like, I don't know what that's about, and I don't know if that's got something underlying to it, and I need to get that checked. But obviously, like, am I in focus? Probably not. But there's just so many things that I'm like, what is going on? And obviously as well, like, there's things that I've spoken about, and like behaviors that I display, or thoughts that I have that I think align with OCD. So maybe that's another thing as well. I have like this compulsion to talk when I'm really happy, and then it just comes straight back down if it's like ruined in any way. So that's some weird like mania that I've been living with. I don't even know if it's mania. It's not regulated, basically. And that's another thing that makes me feel like really stupid and really dumb. And it makes me feel bad. And I feel bad about myself a lot. And I try not to, because I know that I am doing my best. Like, deep down, I know that I'm doing better than I ever have been. And I'm in a very happy like place at the moment. I'm very blessed with the people I have around me, and I have a lot to look forward to and things like that. But sorry, in that same breath, like, everything is overwhelming. Everything to me is overwhelming, and it's difficult to explain, and it kind of makes me sound insane. But I just don't. I don't know how to describe it. I've written down that always feels like there's a million things going on in my head, and that's why I'm getting a little bit like, when the fuck will these pills for my ADHD, when will they start working? Sorry, I need to cough. I've got a really scratchy throat. Okay, like, what? That's definitely from pride, but whatever. But I don't know. I really, really don't know. I don't know. I just want everything to be quiet for a little bit. I would love, like, I've said this before, I'm pretty sure I have. I'll say it again. I want my year of rest and relaxation. I truly do. I just want things to be quiet. My head always feels like it's about to explode. And whenever there is something that I feel like I need to like solve, I cannot rest until it's done. So before Pride, all I could think about was, what train are we getting there and how are we getting home? Because if we miss the last train, we're either stranded in Brighton or we're stranded in London. But that day, I left my phone at home when I went to work with my dad, because so much stuff had happened like prior to this, and I'll get into that. But I was writing on the back of work tickets, like, everything I needed to write down, and not just like information, like my actual thoughts and how I would speak my thoughts. So I said to my dad, I was like, okay, maybe when we come back from Brighton, you or Alex can get us from Gatwick. So I wrote down, like, maybe Alex can get me from Gatwick, or like maybe Alex can get us from Gatwick. It's cheaper than this, then we don't miss the train. Then I had to write a to-do list of like everything I needed to say, everything I needed to do before we went to Pride, everything I needed to pack in my bag, everything that I needed to do in terms of like showering and shaving and tanning and all the rest of that, all down. Otherwise, if it stays in my brain, it just feels like my head's going to explode. Genuinely, that's what it feels like. And this is why, like I said, I'm getting so impatient with these pills, because it's like, this is supposed to calm my head down. This is supposed to bring me down a few. And I feel like, if anything, at the moment, I'm just going up. The only way is up. And it truly is. I'm just going up and up and up and up. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck. And I'm stuck into mud. It's just a nightmare. It's just a freaking nightmare. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Okay? So, I just feel like I'm going insane. And now that I have a busy August, like, I don't know how my head is ever going to just be quiet, because this is the other thing. I just don't feel settled. I have a busy August. I have a pretty busy September as well, because Bello, it's my birthday. So I feel like October is my, like, do not disturb month. I said that in my vlog. Sorry, repeating myself again. Little Miss on repeat. But I do feel like my October is going to be DND, do not message, do not ask me to go out. It's not happening. I need a month at home. I say that I will see Lara multiple times a week. That's just a non-negotiable. And I will see my friends, obviously. But, like, obviously, summer will be over. And I'm not wishing away summer, because every year I'm like, I can't wait for it to be summer. And then it's summer and I'm like, I hate summer. I hate summer. I'm going on record and saying it. My favourite season is spring. When everything feels more manageable. The weather, the air, life, anything like that. That all feels more manageable in April. After April. What am I talking about? Spring. After that, nah. I used to be such a denier that my birthday is in autumn. I was like, no, September 11th is summer. Girl, no, it's not. And low-key, thank God. My birthday is everything. And I have so many plans for my birthday, and it starts from when does it start from? It literally starts from the 20 I don't know when you could necessarily say it starts. My birthday in my brain has already started, like, because I very much feel the 25th year creeping up on me and my body, but we'll get into that as well. But I'm having a birthday get together on the 30th of August, because I was going to have it on the 12th of September, my birthday, Boxing Day, but I changed the entire date because my friend James couldn't come. And I was like, there's no way I'm having a birthday party without him there. It's not even a party. It's just like a get together, because I don't have enough friends for like a proper party. Because one thing about me, I don't have that many friends, but the friends I do have are like the best friends ever. So that's all that matters. Anyway, so I have that on the 30th, and then on the 5th of September, I'm getting a new tattoo. I'm so excited for this. I found this girl on TikTok. She was tattooing herself, and the design that she did on herself, I messaged her on Instagram and I was like, would you please do this exact tattoo on me? Or like, you can change it a bit. Obviously, like, I don't want you to like copy exactly what you did on yourself onto me. And she was like, yeah, of course. And I'm so excited. The bird is making the most annoying fucking sound. Murphy! Sorry. It's so annoying. And my dad is not even saying anything, because he is absolutely what's the word? Engorged? He's just absolutely like immersed in these books that my mum got him about these like Dartmoor murders. Like, Poogan is on DND when he's reading. He said, do not disturb me. Sorry, I don't know if that is in focus. So I have a tattoo on the 5th. And then from the 7th to the 9th, me and my mum have booked a trip. Obviously, I spoke about last time how we were going to go to Paris, and then it felt like asking her to nuke a small country going to Paris. But then I suggested Amsterdam, and she was like, hold up, wait a minute. Yes, she's never been to Amsterdam. She's always wanted to go. Why? There are fabric shops there. Did I say this in the last episode? I can't remember. But I'm going to Amsterdam 7th to the 9th. And then my birthday eve is the 10th. So I will inevitably be doing something. Then my birthday is obviously the 11th, the Friday. Don't know what I'm doing exactly on my birthday yet. Part of me is thinking like massages with mama. So stitches. Let's get a massage. Let's have a kiki. Maybe like sushi for dinner, family dinner. And then like obviously I'll see Lara in the morning. Maybe I'll see her again in the evening if there's something fun on at the cinema. Obviously last year I was in Paris. Year before I went to London. Did I? My 23rd. I can't remember what it... Yeah, because I was pregnant. Yep. Cool. Yeah, that was a fun one. I was in London, but both of those times I had a boyfriend. So we'll find something fun to do. We will find something fun to do. I'm just trying to think of like things that I really enjoy doing that we could just go out and do in the day. Because I was like, oh, we could go to London, but then I feel like London is so rushed, and then I feel like I've not really spent the day like really immersing myself in birthday festivities. And by that I mean being around as many people as I can, being like, it's my birthday, it's my birthday, it's my birthday, everyone has to celebrate, it's my birthday. Also, is my quarter quell. Like, everyone's acting like 25 isn't a big year. Don't get me wrong, my mum was like, 24 was a big year, wasn't it? I said, girl, with me, every year's a big year. Anyway, then on my birthday, Boxing Day, maybe going to London and getting a tattoo, because I'm not going to go on my birthday. Either that, or I might book a day session, but that will literally be 1 week after the other tattoo. So maybe I'll wait a bit longer into the month to get another load of tattoos, because money. But I'll do something on my birthday, Boxing Day. Do not be fooled. Then on the 13th, like, again, probably be with Lara. Let's be very real. Just having a fun time, still soaking up the celebrations. And then the week after, we are going to Oslo, because Lara, like I said in one of my last episodes, got me a trip to Oslo for my birthday, because she is the best friend in the entire world. So very busy August, very busy September. And that's why I think I have to write everything down. Like, having that time tree app is a godsend, because I'm always able to see what I'm doing. But also, I bought this whiteboard. I feel like I've spoke about it on here, or maybe it was in the vlog, but I always have a to-do list. Book STD test has been at the top of that list for a while, so I really need to do that. But like, I wrote down everything. I have a huge thing reminding me to take my ADHD medication, or shock, I don't remember to take it, and then that's like the whole point defeated, isn't it? Bloody Danny just keeps, oh my god, when I do that, like it focuses on my hand and it moves a little thing. That's kind of fun. That's kind of funky. But yeah, I have everything written down on there. Otherwise, my brain just forgets. And I hate it. And if I could change anything, apart from sweating and a migraine, it would be to not be so forgetful. And I try and not blame myself, because I know that I can't help it. But sometimes I'm also like, surely you could help it a little bit. Like, surely. But anyway, like, that's literally not my business. But yeah, I had really shallow sleep the other day, which made everything like exceptionally worse. I hate having shallow sleep. When I'm tired and then I go to bed and I have a really like bad night's sleep because my sleep is shallow, and I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but that it makes the most sense to me, because it's not a deep sleep, so it's a shallow sleep. Like, it's very like surface level, and the whole night I didn't even feel like unconscious. I just felt like I was kind of still there. And I felt like I was still thinking and having these thoughts. And then I woke up and I was like, well, I'm still tired because I've been thinking all night, ? Like, why? What's the point? So that makes everything worse. And I changed my sheets, and I was like, oh, this was after Pride. On the day after Pride, my whole body, okay, I'm not going in chronological order, but it's kind of just rolling, so let's just go with it. But my whole body after Pride was so painful. My feet hurt, my legs hurt, my arms hurt, my chest hurt, my back hurt, my head hurt. Everything was making me feel sick. Everything. I wasn't even that hungover. I had 5 little cocktail cans, right? Pride itself was a great day. Me, Tilly, my auntie, we went to Pride together. It was my first ever Pride. We saw RuPaul DJing. We saw Jessie J. We saw Ray. It was amazing. The train there, so much fun. There was a cat at the train station, this little diva, hanging out with us, having a kiki, trying to bite the feathers off of mine and Tilly's wings, and the feathers and the fluff off of my auntie's cowboy hat. Well, actually, it was mine. So I was like, oh, you're just trying to distract. What? You're just trying to destroy anything I own. Anyway, I'm the owner of this house. Anyway, we finally get on the train. So we have to change twice. Don't even ask. We finally get on the train to Pride. The train is obviously heaving and everyone's going to Brighton. And there's this group of French boys on the train. And I'm just thinking, I can't be asked. Me and Tilly, when we get on that train, I say to her, I'm about to piss my pants. Like, I need to go to the toilet. As we walk on, this boy is like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Doesn't speak much English, but speaks a bit. And I literally was just like, nah, shut the door. We come out. My auntie was like, oh, he was trying to speak to me. And I just basically told him to F off. And I was like, yeah, good for you. Anyway, every time someone's going to the toilet, he's making a comment at them. And he's on this end of the carriage. On the other end of the carriage is a group of people going to Pride. They're all dressed up in rainbow. They're like such a great group of people. They've got a speaker, they're playing music out loud, everyone's dancing, everyone's singing along, and then these boys are just screaming and yelling and chanting their own shit, and it got to the point where I was just going boo, boo, or like shut up, shut up. And then he walks up the carriage to us and he points at Tilly and he goes, my sister, my sister. And I was like, whatever. Then he comes back past, then he comes back again, starts shouting something, and I could not control myself. I went, gay, gay, no men. And he was like, and he ran off the other way to his other friends, and they were like all looking at me like, and I said, what? I was like, why are you ruining this? Why are you ruining this fun experience for all these gay people? Oh my God, can you not taste the rainbow? It's like skills up in this bitch. Like, stop ruining things for other people. Oh my gosh. Anyway, my auntie was like, he doesn't speak much English, but you understood that. I said, well, he heard me loud and clear because I was shouting in his face. Like, do not piss me off. Anyway, got to Pride, had the best time. Halfway through the day, I get a migraine. Oh, of course I do. Of course I do. Luckily, I do not go anywhere. Genuinely not anywhere. Not even like to work, to like out and a boot without a migraine tablet, which reminds me, I need to put on my to-do list to order more from the doctor. So I'll do that tomorrow. But I do not go anywhere without them because if I have a migraine, like that's it. It's game over. Right? Whatever. That day I had not drank hardly enough water. I've obviously only drank these cocktail cans. I have like some chow mein. I fall asleep on Tilly's leg while we're waiting for Jessie J to come on. And I literally said to her, I was like, I feel sick. And we were in the queue for the Portaloos. Bearing in mind, my job is working with shit. If someone's tank is not on the mains, that's what my dad does. He empties people's tanks, people's Portaloos, whatever. That's my job, is sucking up shit for a living, right? And I can stand the smell of shit because I do them and I'm around them a lot. I'm around loads of people's bullshit as well, so that probably helps, right? The smell of the Portaloos at Pride almost made me sick. And I thought, if that's making me nearly sick, these common folk who don't work with shit, oh, it must be bad for you. Oh, it must be bad for you. Anyway, and Tilly was like, wait, in August, don't you have 3 like musical events back to back? I said, yes. You can see where I'm terrified. I'm going to All Points East one weekend. Then the next week on the Thursday, I'm pretty sure, I'm seeing Ariana Grande. Then going to Reading Festival. Then the next day, Blood Orange. And then on the day after, it's my birthday get together. Genuinely, I do not know if I'm going to survive. I'm going to be popping migraine tablets. The way that when I first got single, well, not even first got single, but when I first started like seeing people after my breakup, I was just eating morning after pills like they were sweets. Oh, now who said that? But like, that is how I'm taking migraine tablets this summer. It's a migraine girl summer. I have a migraine Shella. Like, it's awful. I don't know how I'm going to survive. And that is probably what's causing me a lot of anxiety, is I am stressed. I'm capitalized stressed about having events like back to back. And I know that when I first booked them, I was like, yes, no. This month, Alan's moving out. So like everything kind of feels like it's changing. Alan's moving out. Tilly's going to uni next month. Like, everything is changing, Chella, and I don't like it. I've never been good with change. But yeah, I just feel very overwhelmed. It just always feels like there is so much going on in my head. And after Pride, okay, this is something that is very scary to admit, but I'm going to admit it. I'm going to be real. I'm going to be open. After Pride, I came home. And it was about midnight when I got home. And then after I'd had a shower, because I was covered in just dirt and dust and it was absolutely vile. After I had a shower, got into bed, I have made loads of new friends on TikTok because I was posting so much on TikTok last week. And I've learnt my lesson from that. And I'm probably never going to post that frequently again, because you post that frequently, they say to you, post 10 times a day and your videos will do well. Yes, but they don't warn you that TikTok will then be like, wait, let me push it to the side of TikTok that are going to relentlessly bully this person until they're like, I cannot make videos anymore. That's what they don't tell you about being consistent on TikTok, right? But from that, and from just like seeing people's videos on TikTok, I've made a couple new friends. So I was talking to one of these girls that I've befriended on TikTok who, I love her. I think there's this group of girls. I feel like you probably, if you're on TikTok, you might know them. They do the Strictly Come Dancing like pairings with the most random people or like just beings or things. And I commented on one of them, and they were like, they knew me from some of my videos, and I was like, wowza. So I was speaking to one of them, Bulldog, love her down, hopefully queening out with them soon, whatever. And I was telling her about Pride and whatever, and I had some lore for her about someone from Love Island, and I was like, oh, my ex. And she was like, wait, what does your ex look like? Who is he? And so I was like, oh, all of my pictures of my ex-boyfriend are hidden on my phone, like they're not like in my camera roll. So I had to search up my own name on TikTok. I searched up Maisie's Supreme boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, and a video of me and him came up from my main account, which is probably like the only video left with him in it, which I should probably private, but I'll get around to it. And I sent it to her, and I was like, okay, like this is him. And then I watched the video, and oh my God, it just sent me spiraling. It sent me spiraling, and I cried like a baby over my ex-boyfriend. And when I tell people that, I feel like they really get the wrong end of the stick, and they're like, why? Because you don't even like him and you don't want to be with him. And I was like, no, that's not normally like the reason that people cry over ex-boyfriends. They cry because it's like that time in my life is over and we're never going to be together again. And I think what I've really struggled with like the most is being like, obviously when we first broke up, I was just saying anything, itis, especially on my Maisie Supreme account, or well, basically on anything. But when we broke up, I was so angry, and I still am angry sometimes, but it was hard to believe when we broke up that he ever loved me. Like I felt cheated in that sense. I was like, I don't think you ever truly loved me for who I am. I feel like you loved parts of me. I feel like you loved how the relationship provided you with like stability and this idea of the future, but I don't think you loved me because I don't think you like me. I don't think as a person you like who I am, because we're so different and I'm so outspoken and I do all of these things that annoy you and, you know, whatever. And okay, this is like really hard, not even hard to talk about, and I don't want to get upset. Oh my God. Every single time I say that, I'm like, just get upset and just shut up. But before we split up last year, when things were like really, really, really bad, I drove to his parents' house and I sobbed to them for maybe an hour. And I was like, I don't know what to do because I want to be with him and I love him so much. And I don't ever want it to be misconstrued that I loved him. Okay? It's so hard. It's so dumb. I didn't even think I'd get upset about it, but I did really love him. And maybe that's why it hurts so much now, because when we first split up, like it didn't really hit me because I was so angry and I was so resentful and I just was saying anything and just whatever. But the whole time I was at Pride, obviously it was in Brighton, I was like, I kept thinking like, what would I do if I ran into him, even though I knew he wouldn't be there. But I kept thinking, like, what would I do? What would I say? Like, what did you do? What did you say? Would I walk or would I run away? Genuinely, would I do that? But I guess because I know how I felt about him, and, like, obviously the videos, they speak for themselves, and, like, people can take it however they want, right? But deep down, I know that I did truly love him, and I know that when we got together, I was able to like heal this part of me that I never thought I'd be able to heal. And it was because of him, because my boyfriend before him was horrible. He was a really abusive one. He was just a very, very evil person, a deep-rooted evil person. So when I met my ex-boyfriend, he was so kind and so patient and so caring. And I truly felt so cared for by him. I truly felt like he would do anything for me. And obviously that feeling like dissipated and it changed throughout the course of our relationship, and like things came to light and came to a head and all the rest of it. But I loved him. Even when we were breaking up, all I could say to him was like, I love you. Like and it was hard because obviously there's loving someone and then there's loving like the way they make you feel. And I loved him, but I didn't love the way he made me feel. And when I was crying to his parents, his mum said to me, she was like, I have never doubted for a moment that he loves you. She was like, he really loves you. Oh my God. Oh, so dumb. Sorry. Oh my God. This is how I know I need to book a session of therapy. But when she said that to me, I was like, it didn't even like go through in my brain, because at that point in time I was like, he hates me. Like he hates me. He doesn't like who I am, because he won't listen to anything I say, and he won't do any of these things that I'm asking him to do, like things that are really taking a toll on me, you know. And when we broke up, after he left my house, we were on the phone for a bit, and then I hung up, and the last thing he ever said to me, ever texted me, was I love you, right? And I was like, okay, no you don't. I just like laughed it off. I was like, oh fuck off, like whatever. And I think what got to me was like, even though at the end it didn't feel like he loved me or liked me or whatever, I know, deep down I know, there was a time that he did love me, and I loved him, and we were very happy together, and things weren't perfect, but things rarely are. And I think in that moment, after Pride and after this long day, and I'd had 5 fucking little cocktail cans, so I was feeling like absolutely everything, like I was blaming it on the alcohol. I was like, what if I never feel that way again? And I know that's crazy, and I know that you shouldn't think like that, but I think everyone does. So it's not as if I'm just sitting here being like, oh, you know, I'm never going to be loved again. And it's like, oh, shut up. It's a valid concern that people have. And I know that I will always be loved by the people that matter, like my friends, my family, whatever. But I was like, what if I never find a relationship like that again? What if no one ever loves me truly for who I am in a romantic sense, like a boyfriend or a girlfriend, whatever. But yeah, I guess I was just a bit like, when's it going to be my turn? But also like, I'm not in a rush to be in a relationship. I don't want to be in a relationship. Like I said, right now, I am so unbelievably content with where my life is. I feel very, very happy, and I'm very blessed in so many ways. But I think it really just caught up to me because I wasn't sad when we split up. Like I was sad, but I wasn't like heartbroken in the traditional sense. I was just so angry because I was like, how is this how it's ended? And now it's been 7 months since we broke up, almost 7 months since we split up, and I haven't spoken to him once since. I've never heard from him. He's not heard from me. And sometimes I do wonder. I'm like, I wonder how he is, and I wonder if he's seeing anyone. I wonder if he's okay. And I don't know, like, especially when I feel like this, when I feel so overwhelmed, like, take away all the other bullshit that went wrong. He was really good at comforting me. He was very good at bringing me down a level when I was feeling like anxious and overwhelmed and like existential. Like, he was really good at helping me with that. And now it's good because I've learned to help me with that. I know myself very well as a person. I understand what I need and what I want and like when I need them. But it is nice having someone like looking after you, taking care of you, and just being there for you. And I just think like, and the video that came up, the one that I sent Bulldog to show her who my ex-boyfriend is, we looked really happy, and like I think in the video we hugged, and I think we kissed as well. And I was just like just thinking of what it was like when we used to hug, like not even kissing, not even anything like that. I was just like, whenever we would hug, I would just feel so like, I don't know, I would just feel so like content. It sounds really pathetic and sad maybe to some people, but this is just the reality of like a breakup, I guess, because it really hits you when you least expect it. And then the other day, it was yesterday actually, before work, my mum was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And then I just started crying. I was like, I can't stop crying over him. And she was like, but that's okay, like it's normal. And I was like, yeah, I know, like, and I'm not angry at myself, and I'm not ever going to be like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, because like I said, everything hits you at like different times. Like you never know when something's just going to like sneak up on you and be like, oh, here it is. Whoop, there it is. But I genuinely was just like, why now? Why now? And oh my God, another plane. I don't know. I just, it's really shit. And then after that is when I had a really like shallow, terrible night's sleep. And I was like, you're kidding me? You're actually kidding me? Why? But then on Sunday I had a really productive day. So take it or leave it. I changed my bedding. Wait, no. Sorry. The really shallow sleep was on Sunday. So I changed my bedding that day. I had a really productive day. I was so tired after Pride. Got into my bed, then had a really shallow night's sleep. And I was thinking, oh, when does it end? When does it end? And it's just a nightmare. And yeah, I think truly all of these things have been adding up. I've been celibate for 2 months now, which is, when I tell people that, I feel like they think I'm actively choosing this. Don't get me wrong, if I met someone and I was like, yeah, like, why not? I would sleep with them. But the idea of even meeting someone makes me feel sick, because the last guy I slept with, like, saying it how it is, yes, he assaulted me. Okay, yes. And I don't even get too much into it. And I said about this in another episode, but it was someone else that pointed out to me. She was like, yes, Maisie, that's assault. And I was like, oh my God, awesome. And that's when my friend was like, oh my God, what is with you and being borderline raped? And I was like, I don't know. I would stop it if I could. I don't know where these men come from. But that has put a lot of things into perspective for me. Like, don't get me wrong, when I'm ovulating, I'm like, give me someone to fuck now. But in general, like, being single is treating me extremely well. Like, I'm really enjoying my own company. Obviously, I'm just pouring so much time into, like, the things I enjoy, seeing my friends, reading, making my vlogs, making my podcast every other week. But, like, I'm doing things I like, right? But I guess maybe in a sense I'm missing being in a relationship, but then I'm also like, am I? Because I'm literally free to do whatever I want. Like, nothing I have to check with anyone. Like, all my money's just going on me and my friends and, like, doing things, and it's great. And I don't know, maybe as well, like, I kind of am deeping the fact that it's been 7 months, and I'm like reflecting on where I was in January and all these things that I had to look forward to, and then reflecting on how I feel now, how life feels like it's going. It's really weird. But as I was saying about making videos on TikTok, that has been adding to, like, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's been adding, maybe not even subconsciously, because I'm very aware of it happening, right? But it is adding stress to my life in terms of, not even stress, but, like, it's making it hard to just be. I really don't know how to explain it. But basically, sorry, I was just like, what have I wrote? What have I written? Sorry, my grammar, awful. Just caught this. Struggling at Pride and the day after. How am I going to do 3 musical events in a row and feeling like an old woman? Genuinely, that's how I feel. Telling people that I'm turning 25 and then I'm like, but I've got the body of an old woman. Like, when I like kneel down and you hear my knees click, oh, that's not something to be messed with. But basically, on TikTok, okay, so I've spoken about this in my vlog. I've spoken about this on TikTok. I've spoken about this basically everywhere. But I really do want to get into this on here as well, because I have a lot to say. Because, like, I have every right to speak about the way that other people are being towards me, right? I made a TikTok literally not even thinking, right? So I got my lashes done by my auntie. My auntie is, like, qualified in eyelash extensions. They looked stunning. Loved how they looked. Realised, again, why I used to be so addicted to getting my eyelashes done. Then I woke up with a sty a few days later. Also, the day she did it, it was so hot, so she could only do, like, a classic wispy set. And then we were going to add some more in a few days later when it was cooler. And then I couldn't even do that because I got a sty. We had to take them off. But that day that she did my lashes, it was so warm. I was so overwhelmed. I spoke about this in my vlog, but everything was tipping me over the edge. I got a new keyring, and when I tried to change my keyring, my nail polish, like the actual, like, layer of polish and stuff, it, like, came back, and I was like, oh fuck, like, I need to get it fixed. And then I realized it hadn't ripped off, so I was like, oh, it's fine. Then at Pride, the actual nail polish ripped off, as you can see. Well, can you see that? Does it want to focus? Can you see that? Yeah? Can you see that? Yeah, basically. And now I'm scared my nail's going to catch on everything because I still have a week and a bit until my next nail appointment. That was really, bearing in mind, this happened, like, the lashes not working properly because of the heat, then my nail. This is all happening just after the charity event where I already felt like I was getting overwhelmed, and like I could quickly pick up that something wasn't right in my head. Like it wasn't a funk of sorts. It wasn't like when I'm normally in my funks and I'm like, oh, like I just have to ride it out, because I still felt like okay, like I was still enjoying doing things and going out and seeing people, and like I was still having fun. Like it wasn't one of these depressive episodes where no matter what I do, no matter who I'm around, I'm still like at my core sad. I just was getting like, the only way I can describe it when I get like this, what feels like the only solution that will help is ripping all of my skin off. And I know that sounds insane, but this is how it is. And this is how it is at the moment anyway, because I'm in this perpetual state of always feeling sweaty and always feeling dirty. And I used to have this thing in year 11. This is crazy. Aside from eating a jacket potato every day after school, I would shower maybe 2 or 3 times a day because I would always just feel dirty and I couldn't deal with it. The same way in uni, every single day I would make myself be sick, not because I had an eating disorder, but because it felt like if I did it, then I had control over my body. Otherwise, it felt like I could be sick at any given moment. And I wanted to like take away the probability of that happening. So I would just be sick for like control. Again, just walking around undiagnosed, no idea what any of that means. But you know, I just have this real thing about being in control and feeling clean, and like when I smell, I get like actually upset. And so the lashes wasn't like working probably because of the heat. Then my nail, I felt sweaty. It was really warm outside. And so I almost started crying because I was just like, oh my God, I just can't cope. Bearing in mind as well, I haven't cried properly over like anything to do with like my own life in quite a while. And recently I've been really struggling to cry, and that's coming from the world's biggest crybaby. So when I started crying over my ex-boyfriend, I was like, at least I know that I can still do it, because I used to cry all the time, which was probably a bad thing about our relationship. Well, it was. I was always crying because of things that were going on, but I was like, at least I know I still have it. Hey, she's still got it. Anyway, so after that, I was cat sitting. I go to drive to the house where the cat is. I go into Co-op and I literally have like the experience from hell in there. Just to quickly recap, I said about it in my vlog, but when I turned into the car park, this family of 4 were crossing, not looking where they were going. So I just pulled like round in front of them. And then this is what I mean. Like I genuinely feel like I lost my mind a little bit, because I ducked behind my steering wheel because I was convinced they were going to hit me. I don't know why. Then I walked into the shop. There was a little boy and he just screamed the moment I walked in, not at me, but just like at his mum. I physically jumped. I was so scared. Then I went to the aisle that I needed. There was a little boy stood behind this stand with 2 like sticks in his hand, and he gave me this really evil, menacing look, and I was like, oh my God, I need to get out of here. Then the woman that was behind me when I was driving, I saw her in my rearview mirror. She just like emerged out of nowhere, just showed up behind me. Like I could just hear footsteps and then she was there. Again, I like jumped. I was so on edge. Then I turned around the corner. These 2 boys, the little boy with the stick, his brother had 2 sticks as well. They were screaming and chasing each other. I was like, where the funk are your parents? Like, what's going on? I finally get what I need. I go to the self-checkout. The people next to me are taking up all of the room. So I'm literally like squashing myself in there. People are talking over each other. I literally just couldn't do it. I then got in my car, drove to the house where I was cat sitting, and I was like, oh my God, what is going on? This is just awful. Anyway, then my brother FaceTimes me and tells me that he's applied for Love Island. I'm like, okay, like, yes, mama, let's go. And so I make a TikTok, not thinking, saying me and my brother have applied for Love Island. We're going to be the next Aiden and Cav. Bearing in mind, I didn't have a sty at this point. So for even joking about being like the Murphy brothers, God, she gave me a sty. Okay, cheers for that one, love. Anyway, so I post the video, don't think anything of it. Bearing in mind, a couple of weeks, not even a couple of weeks, maybe a week before, I made a video about what my aunt said to me when me and my ex-boyfriend broke up. That video then got like 100,000 views, and I was posting like multiple times a day. This is after the Sunday where I was really delirious. From that Sunday onwards, I was posting like upwards of 10 times a day on Maisie Supreme, and like I was only getting good comments, the normal comments I get from my girls, and then like anyone else who's like my sort of demographic. And then that video of me, bearing in mind I've got lashes on, I've got my glasses on, like I don't think I look bad, and it's just a green screen of like the the Love Island application, and then me in the corner, and I was just like, oh, my brother's just told me that he's applying for Love Island, and that's so funny because I was going to apply for Love Island, so we're going to be the next dating Cav. So I was like, but ethically sourced. I made a joke about it, right? All of a sudden, out of nowhere, that video, like I said about TikTok pushing it out onto a side of TikTok that just does it not like predict that it's not going to be the sort of people that wanna watch my stuff. It pushed it onto a teenage boys sort of like realm of TikTok, and it got they would not like. What's so funny about teenage boys trying to make you feel bad about yourself is that they will not outwardly say to you you're ugly. They will just comment stickers being like, oh, I ain't got the heart to tell her. And there was loads of these stickers, right? People being like, you on Love Island. And so I was replying to a couple of comments because a lot of the other comments were like, oh, you've just ruined his chances. You've ruined your chances. And so I said to one of the comments, I was like, not being skinny ruined my chances, like whatever. And then another one said, I replied to another one saying, look at the state of me. Did you actually think I was going to get on Love Island? Someone replied to the one about me not being skinny, and he was like, yeah, and everything else. I had to laugh because I was like, okay, whatever. And then the other one, someone replied, no, to me being like, do you actually think I get on Love Island? They replied, no. People tagging their friends, loads of people being like, I ain't got the heart to tell you. These two gay guys started fighting because he was like, yeah, we'll see. And then this other guy was like, you demon twink, she's cute AF. And then like girls started commenting like, oh, you're going on Love Island. Like someone commented respectfully, they'd skip your application, like all of this stuff, right? I made a video replying to the guy that said no to me, saying, look at the state of me, did you think I'd get on Love Island? I looked on his profile, which was public, saw something that he made, literally just called him out being like, you've gone through a hard time and now you're using your life to comment shit on people's like TikToks. Like, I don't get that. Another guy, a gym bro with a Bible verse in his bio, who has a whole post about having body dysmorphia, commented about me being like ugly. I was like, okay, whatever. I literally replied to one comment being like, just call me ugly and move on. Anyway, I made this video replying. Then he commented like, wait till you see what I post. Then I deleted the video because I was like, I actually just don't want to beef with teenage boys. Like, I have more chin hair than all of you put together. Like, and my dick is probably bigger. Like, I just don't care. Then he starts harassing me in my DMs, and then he screen records my video, the comments, and our DMs being like, this girl disrespected me differently. You're a wannabe influencer. You want to be an influencer so bad. You can't take hate. You're so insecure. I never called you ugly. And then in his comments he put, I never called her ugly. I just said she wasn't good enough. I said, oh, thank God. Thank God. And then that, like, here's the thing, right? I can deal with people that like I would never associate with, not liking me, calling me ugly, calling me annoying, whatever. But like, there is only so much that someone can take. And don't get me wrong, like, obviously the bigger you get on any form of social media, the more likely you are to get hate comments, and like that's just inevitable. But like, there is like, I was just deleting comments and blocking people because I was like, there is only so much someone can look at and process before it's naturally going to take a toll on you that people are saying to you like, you are not good enough. Never believe you're good enough. Like, you're ugly, you're this, you're that. Like, you would never get on Love Island. And I literally said, I was like, I don't know how to tell you this, but women who aren't a size 8, they exist. Like, I'm a size 14, I'm 5'10", I'm like just under 13 stone. God forbid, right? But like, this isn't like, and these people have girlfriends. Like, some of these boys, I've gone onto their fucking like reposts, I've gone onto their videos, and they have girlfriends, and I'm like, oh my God. And you have a girlfriend that you like claim that you idolize, and you like, what's the word? You like, what's the word? The ground she walks on. You cherish the ground. You would, I don't know, whatever the ground she walks on. And then you're just being nasty to another woman. And like, as the girlfriend, does that not irk you? This is what I mean about like women now. I'm like, does that not piss you off? Because if that was my boyfriend and I found out he was commenting shit on people's videos, I'd be like, oh, we're done. That's disgusting. Also, one of these boys literally posted being like, I don't get why people aren't like for diversity. Like, diversity is the greatest thing. I literally said to him, I was like, does diversity include fat, ugly girls that you don't think are worthy of Love Island? Huh? Anyway, so that video, and then the more obviously people commented it, the more that TikTok pushed it out and the more comments I was getting, and I was like, I literally cannot deal with this, like it's not happening. And maybe if I was in a better headspace I would have been able to deal with this, but obviously I was already feeling overwhelmed. And then this guy was being so like petty and just nasty about the whole video that I made and I deleted. I had to call my friend James. God bless James. I miss him so much. Like, I always miss him because he's in Scotland. But, like, recently I literally texted him. I was like, I miss you so much. Like, seeing him genuinely like therapy. Genuinely. Anyway, I had to call him and I was like, have I done something wrong? Like, that's how bad it was. I was convinced that I'd done something wrong. Bearing in mind, I tried to just, like, diffuse the situation by apologizing to this guy. I was like, look, if I've misunderstood, I do apologize, but like from where I'm standing, this is how it seems. He admits that I apologize, but then is still doubling down on me. Anyway, that happened. And then yesterday, okay, so when I said that like me re-downloading Tinder and then deleting my account was bad, what was the worst and the pinnacle of this whole episode that I've been having? I re-downloaded Hinge. Okay, hold your judgment, it's already been deleted. I downloaded Hinge, I made an account, I got maybe like 20 to 30 likes. Okay. And I just saw the things that people were saying to me about my body, about my boobs, just like making just basically advances, trying to sext, just grim things about like, oh, you look like you'd be trouble, or oh, I wonder how you taste. Or I would just see things in their profile that like just didn't align with me. I don't know, being conservative politically, using AI, just like having a profile where you can just see they objectify women, calling women birds, like females, anything like that. That's what all of these men fit into, right? And so I was like, no, deleted Hinge immediately. I made a video, which I have now since privated, because again, I'm just not dealing with incels in my comments. Like, at first I was like, oh, whatever, and everyone's like, any publicity is good publicity. And wait, I'll get to what I was about to say, because I'm about to eat with that. I'm about to eat anyway. But I posted that, and I literally the only thing I said in the video, I was like, re-downloaded Hinge, made a profile, saw my first 5 likes, deleted it again. What the fuck was I thinking? Also, I'm not wearing makeup in this video, God forbid, because all of the videos that seem to go viral, I'm not wearing makeup, so everyone's like, you're so ugly. But this video hit middle-aged men TikTok, and they were the ones being like, you, like, do you even own a mirror? Someone commented, what did he comment? He was like, can't believe this day and age females, like, oh, the modern day female is so hard to believe. Like, who is this 3 talking about how, like, yapping about how great they are? And so I literally replied, and I was like, who is the 3, and who, and when were they talking about how great they are? And he was like, get 3 different mirrors. And I said to him, I was like, show your face. And he was like, lol, I'm a 4, but I used to get girls from chats. I would never, from my chat, I would never make a TikTok like mocking the quality of people that like me, because I think I'm wildly more attractive than I am. And I was like, yeah, I've already said in multiple different comments and a comment to you that the reason I like deleted Hinge was because of the way that men were speaking to me and the advances they were making at me and how they spoke about my body and how they spoke about women. And I said to him, I was like, you weren't paying attention to that because you were too busy commenting, calling me a female, which says everything I needed to know. Then I went on his profile. He follows Lily Phillips and a Bonnie Blue is pregnant account. So that also says everything I need to know. Like, just basically OnlyFans girls. And I was just like, okay, like, I literally don't care about your opinion. But then I got one from a guy called like What I Learned from the Trees, and he was like, you do know how it works, right? Like, to get likes you have to send likes, like to meet people that you might like. And I said to him, thank you for mansplaining this to me. When you're a woman on Hinge, you get unsolicited sexual advances, and that's what it's like. I said, did the trees not teach you that? Okay. And then I just kept getting more comments being like, you're on Hinge, you think you're gonna get likes. And I literally thought to myself, Hinge was bad enough, and dealing with that was bad enough. Dealing with men who like the caliber of men that they are, just nasty, like bitter, middle-aged men who obviously haven't touched women in a while, trying to tell me how I am. And also the guy that was like this 3 talking about how great she is, he was like, hope this helps child. And I was like, I know that, you know, I'm not a child, but I literally was like, how are you rating and telling me like what my looks are if you think I'm a child, or like calling me child? I was like, why are you rating a child 3? Like, you're a fucking freak. You probably fuck 3-year-olds, you fucking pedo. Like, don't piss me off. So that has been happening on TikTok. And I was saying to James on FaceTime, I was like, no amount of like money or fame or stability could ever make me want to be a TikToker. Like, I would love to be able to make my vlogs as like my full-time thing, my podcast, my full-time thing. That is my ideal, right? And obviously along with that, you have to post TikToks as well, because like that's how like marketing works and social media works. But like, I do not want my whole thing to be like, oh, I'm a TikToker, because being on TikTok is dealing with the worst people that the world has to offer. And I genuinely think TikTok is such a nasty place. Like, don't get me wrong, there are great people on TikTok. There are videos that make me laugh, make me cry. But in general, it is so damaging on there. And I just want to delete it. I won't, because obviously I post on Rough as Rats. And like, there are days where I just want to post like a silly video or like a transition. I posted loads when I went to Pride because I peaked that day. I've never looked as good as I looked at Pride, and I fear that I will never look that good again, but whatever. But like, in general, TikTok is awful. TikTok is so bad. And obviously when you put yourself out there, you are inviting people to scrutinize you and to judge you and to make comments about you, but that doesn't mean it's right, and it doesn't mean it's okay to comment on my body, comment on my face, comment on my appearance. Like, I would never do that. Even the worst TikToks I've ever seen, send it to a friend. Think to yourself, fucking hell, that was awful. Just don't. There's no need to be nasty. Like, there's literally, I'm a glorified and a proud hater, but I've never ever commented hate that's like based on someone's appearance. Like, I commented hate on Belle Hassan's photo after she said that she's not into politics. Her dad is like part of the Reform Party, whatever. But like, it's just not happening. So that's been going on. And like I said, I love doing this. This is very fulfilling to me. My vlogs have always been fulfilling. There's always been so much I get from them. But TikTok does actually just give me more stress than it's worth, because then I'm obsessively checking comments, obsessively looking at the comments that have to be approved, like the filtered ones, and it's just not healthy. And then I'm on my phone even more, which is why when I go to work with my dad at the moment, I leave my phone at home. I just take my book with me. I feel 1,000 times better for doing so. I've stopped sleeping with my phone in my bed. I leave my phone on my desk. I don't charge it overnight. I don't go on it first thing at night. I don't go on it before bed. I feel 1,000,000 times better. I know that I am somewhat addicted to my phone, and just like making these small steps does make me feel a lot better. But yeah, it's just, normally I probably could cope with this better if I wasn't already feeling so shit about like just my mindset, and not even my mindset, but just like the space I'm in at the moment, which is just like, I'm overwhelmed. I could probably deal with everything a lot better, but at the moment, it was all a bit too much. So I was like, block, delete, and then I just privated one of the videos, because I was like, I just don't think it's worth it, because the more people interact with it, the more it's getting pushed out there, the more I'm just gonna get shit from people that I wouldn't even look twice at in the street, you know? So I just, deleted TikTok. No, deleted Hinge, blocked people, TikTok is bad. Every time I go on Instagram, the first thing the first post I see on Instagram is almost like definitely on like, hello. The first post I see on Instagram almost every single time is worthy of giving me a panic attack. So I'm not on Instagram as much unless I'm rewatching my own story, which is a common occurrence. But I'm just really trying to get offline, you know? And it makes sense, because everything online makes you feel like shit. And sometimes I just have to pretend that nothing is real. Otherwise, I'm just like convinced that I will like explode. So yeah, every day I'm like, surely things are going to get better, right? I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never know. I just need every billionaire to die. And all the annoying old white men in power die. You know what I mean? I just fucking hate it. Anyway, apart from all of that, which I know is a lot, actually as well, one last thing. Now that I'm coming out of ovulating and my fertile period, I'm now going into my luteal phase. My armpits are hurting and so are my boobs. And one of my nipple piercings, because it's hot and I'm ovulating and now going through the luteal phase, my boobs are obviously just swollen or getting sweaty. So one of my nipple piercings literally looks like it's having the worst time of its life. And I am just not conforming to it. I'm not conforming to it. I'm washing it with saline spray if it looks like it's upset. And this is another great part of being celibate, because I'm like, the last time I slept with a guy, he just didn't listen to any of my wishes about things that I did and didn't want being done to me. And that caused a lot of distress for my poor nipples. So yeah, I just think what is so cruel about this is that this whole period of time where I felt like I'm going through some form of episode has happened before I hit the luteal phase. So now I have to go through the luteal phase feeling like, am I coming out of this episode? Who knows? But I know that I'm going to go into a new one. I'm actually reading Lena Dunham's first book at the moment, Not That Kind of Girl. Not That Sort of Girl. Not That Kind of Girl. And I'm really enjoying it. It's making me feel a lot better for being the way I am, like as in mental. So that's nice. Love when a book makes me feel understood and heard. Really, really love that. But like I was saying, on the whole, I am doing okay. I'm very content with where my life is. And I feel like recently, maybe it's because when I get to my birthday, I get very like sentimental when I start like reminiscing and like trying to show gratitude and just, you know, for things going on. But I have stopped telling people what I think they either want to hear or what's like socially acceptable to hear. For example, the other day at this pool like charity event thing, someone asked me, what do you do for work? And my go-to answer since I started working with my dad is, oh, I'm between jobs, so I work with my dad while I look for something new. Okay? And then normally that leads to like, what do you want to do? Like, would you not prefer to work in an office? Blah, blah, blah. I have no interest in getting a new job. I have no interest in working in an office. I have no interest in working in hospitality again. I don't want to work in retail. No. I know that it's going to be so hard for some people to believe, but I am very content working with my dad. We work Monday to Friday. I don't have some dickhead boss telling me off for being ill or not approving my holiday requests. I love my dad. My dad is the greatest man I've ever known. I love working with him. We butt heads all the time. We fall out all the time, but that is just what it's like working with family. I love working with my dad because I will never, ever, 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 ever be asked to use AI, okay? And I would rather, genuinely, hand on my heart, work with my dad, sucking up piss and shit, sometimes getting sprayed with it, than sit in a fucking office, working for however much money a year, miserable, commuting, hating my life, living for the weekend, having some boss that's just nasty to me, and then being made to use AI on top of all that. I would genuinely rather do what I'm doing now, which, like I said, some people can't comprehend. And I have had people I know make comments such as being like, Maisie does nothing. Like, Maisie's doing nothing with her life. Like, what is she actually doing? Like, she's got no prospects. This is that. This is coming from people I know and I've known for years and have been friends with. This is coming from people I've met. This is coming from strangers. Like, it's coming from anyone, right? People just can't understand that I'm content doing something that they see as like below them. And let me just say this, and I wholeheartedly mean this. If you are someone, I know this is not going to be any of my girls, but if you are someone that judges people for the job they have because you think it's below you, it's menial, it's not good enough, you are for lack of a better word, a cunt. There is literally no two ways around that. I'm sorry. People that try to make you feel bad about the job you have, you are just evil. Like, there is no, like, oh, what, because you work in an office. Okay. Oh, you work in an office. Oh, because you have your own business. Oh, wow. Well, fucking hell, colour me impressed. Oh, wait, I'm not. Okay. I don't care. When I was on Hinge and I used to ask people what they do, and people would be like, oh, I'm just this, I literally would always say, I don't, like, why are you saying that? Like, I'm not a snob about a job. You could be a bin man, you could work at McDonald's, you could be a litter picker, you could be a banker, you could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, whatever you are. I see all of that on the same level, because almost every job ever, okay, the only job I'll judge you is if, like, you've got, like, your own AI, like, company, or you work at, like, an AI center. Like, that's when I'm like, oh my god, shut up. But that's because I disrespect AI, so I naturally disrespect people that, like, fucking glaze it. But I genuinely believe that every job is a job. If you're making money, you're making money. Like, would you, and this is the thing, I think, if you're gonna sit there and shit on my job and say, oh, like, you're not really doing anything with your life, you're this, you're that, you're that, like it's not anything worthwhile, what would you rather I sit at home like a bum, like the fucking boyfriend you probably have? Like, no, I'd rather be out making money. We get to finish at a decent time every day. I get to go out in the evenings. I get to see my friends. I get to focus on YouTube and my podcast, because I'm not working in hospitality for minimum wage with my boss telling me that this is the most important part of my life and I need to care so much about this job that's treating me like shit. No, I just get to suck up shit. And oh my god, God forbid I'm happy. So now I've just come to this point where I'm like, why, like, tell people what you think they want to hear? And I don't normally do that. I'm normally very straight up and honest about, like, the way I feel and the way I think and whatever. But this is always something, like, I wasn't even embarrassed to be doing this job. Like, genuinely, I am considering getting my HGV license because I enjoy this job. The customers we have on the whole are great. Like, why would I want to do anything else? This is a business that my dad's worked very hard for. My brother does it. And, like, it's also because people think it's like, oh, that's so gross. And, like, you're a girl. Why would you do that? Oh my gosh, go and eat a fucking can of Spam if you're missing the 1940s that much. Like, fuck off. Honestly, pissing me off. But I don't care, because, like I said, people that think certain jobs are below them, or certain jobs are, like, not worthwhile, or that I'm wasting my life, or whatever bullshit opinion they have, which I don't care about, those are people whose opinion I don't care about, because they're nasty and they think they're above it. And it's like, oh, let's hope you never lose your job and have to do, like, a menial job that you see is, like, below you. God forbid you ever have to do that. God forbid people just want to make money. You know, I don't think now, like, in the time we are in, is time to, like, judge people for the jobs they have. I think that's actually very nasty behaviour. And just yeah, like, you're a nasty girl. You're a very nasty girl. But yeah, apart from that, like, I do think I'm coming out the other side of this funk. Well, not even a funk, but, like, this weird little episode I've been in. Hopefully. I was in a reading slump this entire time as well, so that probably added to things where I was like, oh, I'm not using my brain, and I just, oh my god, I think I just need to get back in that fucking library. Like, get me back in that library now. Get me back in that library now. But yeah, I do feel on the whole very happy. Like, I've booked obviously, like, things for my birthday, and I've started buying things for Lara's birthday, and there's so much to look forward to, and I know that I'm really going to enjoy it, and I'm not going to, like, regret going to anything or any of my plans. I just think, like, for me, sometimes the biggest hurdle is, like, just going through with the plan. Like, I'm always just stressed. Like, with Pride, I was just so stressed the night before. I was like, I need to do everything I can to make the morning easier, and I think that might just be it. Like, putting steps in place and doing things to aid myself and help myself get through, like, big feelings. I know this sounds ridiculous, like I'm gentle parenting myself, but this is my reality. But, like, knowing that I'm having these big feelings and putting things in place to help me get through them and just, like, work them out in a healthy and manageable way. And I'm doing that. I'm doing my best, and that's all I can do. And honestly, like I said, I'm very happy with where I am, and I've just realised that like my life is probably going to go a completely different way to the way I expected it to growing up when I was in my last relationship. That's probably like the other thing I was crying about, because sometimes I'm just like, oh, I'm mourning the life I thought I was going to live. But that's okay, because things change, and even though I'm not good with change and it's hard for me to process a lot of the time, it's good for things to change because it means you're growing. And that's what I'm doing. I'm growing, I'm becoming this new person, but the person I've always been and the girl I've always been and the many different versions of me, they still live on inside me, and I'm very grateful to still be here. And I think I just get very reflective when my birthday comes around, and just anything, when I'm feeling already so much, anything can push me over the edge. So the last 2 weeks have just been like constantly, like I feel like I'm on the edge of a cliff, and every time something small that shouldn't matter like goes wrong, it's like, oh, someone's gonna push me, and then I feel like I fell off the cliff a bit, but I was like, no, when I was hanging on the cliff, and I was like climbing up. Oh my god, that doesn't make any sense. I keep having dreams about my ex-boyfriend as well. Every single time I have a bad night's sleep, it's because I've had a dream about my ex-boyfriend, and I'm getting a little bit sick to death of that, but that's neither here nor there. Wait until my period comes. I'm going to be a bloody mess, because I think the next time, like, I'll be putting out a podcast will either be, like, just as my period's ending, or I don't know. I don't know how long my luteal phase is. Let me look before I go. I've just realised as well that I've been talking for nearly an hour and 40 minutes. I was like, oh, it's just going to be a quick hour. Like, let's have a little catch up. Let's have a little kiki. And then I was like, wait, I have so much to say. Okay, it's going to be 2 weeks till my next period. The next time I'll post is when I would just have started my period. So I'm sure the next 2 weeks are going to be very eventful, fruitful, colourful, all the different fulls. They're going to be full of something. Rage. This luteal phase, no one is safe. And today as well, last thing, maybe, I was sat in the lorry with my dad, and I was just like, I did an episode talking about how irritable I am a couple of weeks ago, but every so often, like, actually no, I'd say every day, I just get a bout of being extremely irritable, and everything pisses me off, and it takes everything in those moments for it to not to ruin my day completely. And today I persevered, and it didn't ruin my day completely. And I still managed to film this, which is what I'm always scared of, because I'll get motivation to film this in the morning, and then it's like, will this motivation last till the evening? Who knows? But I don't know. I've also been a bit emotional because today was the last day of me cat sitting, and I absolutely love the cat that I was looking after. And leaving my house every day, I would go to their house for like quite a few hours in the evening, and I would just sit and watch Pretty Little Liars, the goat. And it was like a really good break for me to get out of my house, get away from like everyone. I was just there on my own, chilling with him. And it was like a really nice bit of like respite, you know? I don't know. I keep saying, you know, but I don't even know. Maybe I should ask for a straight jacket for my birthday. Anyway, that's everything. Sorry, this episode was nearly fucking out. It's like about half the length of the Odyssey. Oh my god, last thing actually. Let's end this on a positive note. I want to Matt Damon. What? I want to F Matt Damon. Then or now. Good Will Hunting or the Odyssey. That scene in the Odyssey where he's pulling on the boat, his arms. Oh, I'm hungry. Wait, can you tell I've been ovulating? And on that note, I'll see you in a few weeks. And, well, who knows? I may have melted by then. As the top says, never been normal. It's literally 10 o'clock at night. Oh my gosh. And I'm about to shit myself. Okay. Ooh, what was that? Bye!